here with SmamsYGO. We're going to be talking about his top 8 OTS Championship Mermail Atlantean deck. So let's just dive right in.
So to start off, we have 3 copies of Neptibus, the Atlantean Prince. It's your one and only one card starter, but if you see it, you practically win the game unless your opponent has the god amount of interactions.
So level 1, 2, but you're not playing 1 for 1, right?
No.
Okay, but some people definitely do.
Right. It's not incorrect, I'm just not doing it because I just don't want to get cards that are vulnerable to hand traps that aren't ending.
That's fair. One of my opponents had the 1 for 1 package in their Mermail deck, and it was okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Usually what you'll be sending with Neptibus is Mermail Shadow Squad. It's one of your best costs because it gets you your resources out of the main deck and onto the field without having to use other resources. It just summons it straight from the deck. Being of water with 0 attack is relevant for your combo lines.
Yeah, absolutely. Hang on, we got some really awkward shadows here. Let me see if I can fix this. Okay, that's a lot better.
Next up is 3 copies of Mermail Abyss Pike. I'm playing 3 because I'm running a card that makes it so you have to, but it's fine. Usually I want to see this card anyways, even though it's kind of tough when it gets negated.
Yeah, that's fair. I see some people running 1 or 2 of this and then replacing one of them with a Fishborg Harpooner lately.
Yeah.
You're not doing the Harpooner line, right?
No.
Okay,
no.
yeah. Fair.
Next up is Atlantean Dragoons. It's just the most abused card pretty much ever.
These are pretty too.
Thanks.
Look at that.
Yeah, you're just gonna keep abusing this card as much as you can. Whether it be Neptibus, Bahamut Shark, all sorts of stuff. Next up is Abyss Shrine, the Atlantean Spirit.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the best cards in the deck. Probably the best card in the deck. Just allowing you to navigate like through Shifter or through Troll when literally pretty much no other card in the deck can. Like Abyss Shrine is of utmost importance.
This is also very pretty.
Thank you.
I actually just pulled this and traded it to him.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Very pretty card.
Next up is 3 copies of Mermail Atlantean. He's just one of the bros. Searches a level 4 lower Mermail on summon.
Of course,
consistency.
Just blinged out as always, huh?
I wouldn't worry about it. To match, that is 3 copies of Poseidon Stormy Atlantean. I want to be on 3 just because. Thanks. I want to open it for when I'm going second. Like I'd rather have it than not. And going first, I mean it triggers cards, so I'll take it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem terrible going first, but it seems way heavier going second.
Yeah, it's broken going second, especially off of Abyss Shrine when you don't open it from the hand. Just get it in the deck. Heavy infantry. It's just insane amounts of utility.
Just 1.
Yeah, you only need 1.
Okay, yeah, I've seen some people playing this at more copies since the new stuff came out.
Yeah, but I can see 2. I just don't ever really want to draw more than 1. Although it isn't once per turn, so it's pretty decent in that regard. But just want to see engine or impactful cards.
It seems like maybe a sideboard piece. You'd want to run 2 more in there or something like that.
For when I know I'm going second, but there are other cards that I'd rather play than that.
Okay.
That's just me though. Mermail Abyss Gun. One of your critical combo pieces. She works with Shadow Squad. She works with Abysstius. Just being able to reborn stuff is pretty good. And then Abyss Megalo. Him being a Sea Serpent is relevant. Just gives you another name to search off of Dragoons. It pitches 2, so it can actually chain block a lot of stuff sometimes. Searching an Abyss spell or trap is really good with the equip spells.
Absolutely.
The most unfair thing you could do with this deck is Molan Glacier, the Elemental Lord. Just being able to rip 2 cards. It's just extremely, extremely unfair. Like, because they're going to throw hand traps at you already, so they're like 2 or 3 cards, and then you just play that. You just win the game on the spot.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get
Now,
to.
you're not playing the hand rip version of this deck. You just have this because it's part of your combo.
Yeah, I'm not on Minstrel.
Okay.
And next up, we got the other heavy hitter, Coelacanth. It's one of the reasons why Abyss Shrine is so insane is because you can get this from the deck. This summoning a bunch of Abyss Pikes and immediately making Bahamut into Toad can help you play under Nib in certain instances. It's also just super broken, especially with the new rank 7. You get to abuse the hell out of this card.
Yeah. I play this card in Goaty. This is actually my copy of the card, isn't it?
I still have one for you though. Don't worry
Okay,
about it.
yeah. I'm gonna need that back because I'm gonna do some goatee content soon. But yeah, this is
That card's
yeah,
busted.
this card's really good.
Yeah. Next up for the last of the engine is Abyssing Triana. Just a premature burial for Atlanteans or Mermails. Searchable by Abyss Megalo in the League 3.
Yeah,
So
this is one of the newer cards, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Rhoda.
Supreme,
Okay.
Yeah, Rhoda, whichever set it was.
Yeah, one of the new ones.
Yeah.
It's not a hat format card.
Right. And then non-engine, 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Perulia, 3 Fuwalos, 3 Nibiru, 3 Dominus Impulse, and 3 Infinite Impermanence. This is unfortunately not the engine that I took with me to the OTS event. I did change it up after like serious consideration.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Nibirus were Effect Veilers, and I had the Nibirus in the sideboard, but I moved them to the main deck because Effect Veiler, like, I already have Impermanence in the main deck. I want to have my non-engine give me as much coverage as possible, so I just put in the Rock, and it's been working out pretty decently.
Okay, so you top 8'd with the deck and then you improved it. So we're looking at the improved version of a top 8 deck.
Oh, I'm not sure if it's improved upon. It's just it's given more consideration and thought than I could have possibly given it to the morning of the event because I was ill prepared.
Okay.
Yeah, like I didn't even have a certain card in my sideboard that could have seriously changed how I played, but that's whichever. The extra deck, I'm not really sure if it matters too significantly, but I have 2 copies of Anemone in here. I just feel like, you need grind game a little bit, like follow up in this deck for when your board does actually get broken because they hand trap you. So, I'd rather have a second copy of Anemone than not, especially because she's super hard to recur because she's not a fish, aqua, or sea serpent.
That's fair, and I understand that. And you being a Marensis player too, you seem like you might be a little biased towards that, but I understand why you would do that.
No, it's more so just the follow up and grind game that she offers you by having 2 copies rather than 1.
Okay.
Marensis bias aside, like she's just generically insane in water decks, so.
Yeah, she's in all of my goatee decks.
Yeah,
so
yeah, she's broken. The other link too we have is Abyss Alacia. Just shores up hands where you just get hand trapped into absolute oblivion. Gives you something to do with little resources, and if they kill her, you win the game.
Yeah, just also just a really solid end piece.
Yeah, because she can send for cost during your opponent's turn too. If you have heavy infantry, it turns it into a quick effect pop.
Yeah.
I'm running 2 Mermail King Neptibus as well. Same thing with Anemone. Just having an extra copy of this just means you don't have to recycle it. You can just make another one. I know it's not like the most relevant thing in the universe, but having 2 is pretty good. Like, just it matches the second Anemone, and also like, if they do break your board fully, you're gonna have basically nothing. You just have to start over completely. So. Using resources to add back other cards that you need to actually play instead of this by having a second copy of this is relevant. That's just my mind too.
Good.
And now we're on to the Xyz monsters. Abyss Dweller. Damnably good.
Yep.
Stealth Kraken never comes up until you need it, and then it's just broken. Bahamut's.
2 Bahamut's.
Yeah, because you can do it twice in the same turn.
The gold rarity too. This actually looks so good on Xyz monsters. The
I
gold
agree.
Rarity.
I just don't have a second Bahamut Shark from Abyss Rising, so just using these 2.
That's fair. It came out as a QCR. Are you gonna plan on picking those up to match the rest of the deck?
No, I want the Abyss Rising secrets. They look nicer.
That's fair. That's fair.
And then to match the Bahamuts, we have the 2 Toads. Best card ever. I love this guy.
Yeah. Toad is crazy.
It's like the reason to play water decks a lot of the time.
Thankfully, when I played my match at the OTS against the Mermail, I was able to imperm the first Bahamut Shark that he played, the second one, and then got the Toad on the board. And fortunately, I was able to use my my Fiendsmith package to bait out all of the interrupts that he was able to put up before going into my full Tistina combo.
Right.
And I opened just pure gas. I had the COD hand that game, so
it
worked really well. It's in my other video. I'll actually link that right here.
In all other scenarios, though, Double Toad is just disgusting. It wins you the game, especially if you hand rip them for 2. Like, they just have 2 or 3 cards, and then the 2 or 3 Omnis just eats them alive.
Yeah, I remember double toting, like quote unquote double toting people in Sprite by using double cross to bring it back after using it. So
I'm just making 2 Toads.
Yeah, you just
well,
you
I'm
just
making 2
have
Bahamut
two.
Sharks, but yeah, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then to finish up the Exceed lineup, we have the rank 7s. We got 2 copies of Abyss Trite. Same thing, same theory with Anemone. Like having 2 copies of her allows you to play on turns 3 and 4 and the later turns without having to recycle her.
This is the new one from Supreme Darkness,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
She is so busted on summon. She can revive any level 7 or lower fish, sea serpent, or aqua. So that's what allows you to use Coelacanth twice. It's what allows you to make the second Toad. She is just insane. I'm not playing any of the Abyss traps though. I have been considering putting Steam back in the deck, the one that draws cards, but for now I'll just keep it at an even 45.
You know, I understand that.
Yeah. Abyss Gaios is the other rank 7 that Mermail has.
Ooh,
Quick effect Dark Ruler. That also says that level 5 or higher monsters can attack. It's the only answer you have to a light dark Chaos Angel outside of like Infinite Impermanence.
Wow, this card's almost like 3-dimensional. This looks insane.
No, the old ultis are really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately this deck has a problem with Chaos Angel on Light and Dark, but if you can put this guy on the board, they can't attack with the Chaos Angel that they've already made. So if they can't deal with this, it's just going to be just who decks out first, unfortunately.
So basically, if you play like against White Forest or Chimera or something,
yeah,
like
it actually
even
happened
Bestial Fiendsmith, like that kind of deck that can make a Chaos Angel with Light and Dark, you struggle into that.
The deck literally has no out besides making this to prevent them from attacking you and beating you to the ground.
Hopefully they have to use it as material somehow. But I think any seasoned player would just sit there and let you deck out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because you go through so much of your deck and your combo.
Yeah, exactly. Like unless you can just hard open a way to make this and then just sit on it, but they'll find an out to it before you find an out to Chaos Angel because you don't have one.
Okay.
On my way to top 8, my opponent like the before top cut, my opponent summoned Chaos Angel in game 1, and I was seriously considering like if I was gonna make it. Yeah. And then to finish up the Xyz lineup, 1 copy of Poseidra Abyss, the Atlantean Dragon Lord. This card is broken because Abyss Trite is such an easy card to summon and one that you want to summon. This guy gets a lot better in terms of bringing him out. You don't have to use your Abyss Gaios to make it. It's an insanely broken board breaker, non-target, returning 3 cards your opponent controls to the hand while also sending a water from your deck to the grave. Cost is obscenely good on a 3000 body. And the floating effect, I am not playing with Virtue Dragon to take advantage of the floating effect. There are some instances where I wish it was relevant, but at the same time, I'm not using this guy on my first turn, I'm using him on my 3rd turn to kill my opponent.
Yeah.
Or going second.
A lot of my extra deck is built around the 3rd turn.
Yeah.
Just in general, for like every deck that I do, I very much so worry about my 3rd turn over my 1st turn. It's like, yeah, you can stop your opponent, they might scoop, but what if you don't? And it goes back to your turn. You gotta have your 3rd turn play.
Yeah,
So.
it's also just being able to take an Abyss Trite that you've made going second and just turn it into a card that just tears your opponent's board into pieces is insane.
Yeah, this card is really, really broken, and this is one of the newer ones from Rhoda too. So
Yeah.
all right, well, let's move on to your sideboard. Let's see what we were teching for.
So before, like I said, I had nibs in the sideboard. I am no longer having nibs in the sideboard. They're in the main. They've been replaced with 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird.
Okay, so this would have been Nib, and Nib in the main deck would have been Effect Veiler.
Yeah, and I
For what you
had
played.
this card. Yeah, I didn't have this card at the OTS, which felt kind of bad. Not gonna lie. I played against a lot of not Ryzeal though. I played against like Sword Soul and like.
There wasn't much.
Yeah, I played the
There
mirror.
was not a lot of Ryzeal there.
Yeah, I played the mirror match, so I really wish I had this for the mirror match. But
Are these all original art plat secrets?
Yeah,
That's very pretty. That's very pretty.
I wish they were the alties.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, so for what you were playing at the event, this would have been Nibiru in the sideboard.
Yeah.
Main board would have been Effect Veilers instead of Nibirus, which could be very relevant to the meta, but you think that this is working better currently?
In a deck that only gets to play ET non-engine, which sounds ridiculous, you want your hand traps to be high impact, An effect failure is just another copy of infinite impermanence. You already have infinite impermanence, but effect failure can get hit by cards like Call by the Grave, and it loses to like Talents and Thrust, whereas infinite impermanence doesn't. So I'd just take the upsides and downsides with each card, and just switch out the effect failures for nerfs and put these in finally.
Okay.
Because I also am playing a card in the sideboard that makes having this relevant too. But for Malice Hate, we got Meowls.
Yeah, so we're rocking
Lancia.
all of the Mulcharmies in this deck.
Yeah.
3 Meowls on the side, 3 Fua, and 3 Perulia on the main board. And now I'm assuming Perulia works in your main board because it's a water monster you can get rid of? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just have Fualos because this deck's going second is not great, unfortunately. Poseidra, the main deck monster, really helps, and Poseidra Abyss in combination with the Atlantean Xyz helps too, but in all reality, if you can't get there, it's, it doesn't matter. These cards help you get there against Malice because Malice's end board is super layered and insane.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Are these Battle of Legends? No. What set are these? These are the secrets from
What's the set?
BLHR, yeah.
Yeah, that's the Hero's Revenge secrets.
Yeah.
I got those a long time ago.
This is beautiful.
Thanks.
Alright.
This is the reason why having Dueling Lockbird is super important, because you lose to Dueling Lockbird when you're on Merlantian, so you want Crossout Designator for when you know you're going first.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people have been playing Crossout.
Same thing with Nibiru. Like, you just want an answer to that, and, Crossout stops it. They're not always going to control a card for you to Dominus Impulse. Yeah, and like the Mulcharmies also kind of kick your teeth in a little bit, so it's good to just have a card that stops all of it, and Crossout is that card. I just have it in my sideboard because I don't like it going second. I'd rather just bring it in for when I know I'm going first.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And then last card, Metaltronus, because Dweller and Caesar eat you alive. Metaltronus, specifically with Abyss Dweller, yeah, you can just get the Abyss Dweller that you have in your extra deck, but if you want to Dweller them, and you can just kill their Dweller, you can just summon Mermail Atlantean because he's a water monster with 1700 attack. So that clears it. Same thing with
and puts a level 7 on your board and doesn't
it gives you access. It gives you easier access to the Poseidra line to help further break their board.
Yeah, and this is an activated effect. So does it say you can't activate their effects, or does it just say they're negated? You cannot activate
Metaltronus.
Okay.
Yeah, not only can you not activate them, but Abystheus's effect only activates when you summon it with its first procedure.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
okay,
when you do.
Yeah.
And then for High King Caesar, you have a Poseidra the Storming Atlantean, is a water with 2800 attack. And then it's the same concept. You just get a bro on the board, you negate their thing, and then specifically because they're level 7 bros, it makes breaking the board a lot easier.
Now, do you have anything to out, like, say, Ryziel Detonator? Now, I know in this deck, Detonator is actually fairly easy for you to play through.
Yeah, this guy outs Detonator by returning it to the hand.
Yeah. I'm just wondering with the Metaltronus if you had any more targets for that.
No, because I'm not concerned about that. All I'm concerned about is Dweller and Caesar.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing, and congrats on your top 8.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate it.
Of course. All right. I've been Danosaur. Thanks for watching.